We know celebrities like Pat Boone have been joining the Tea Party rally and movement. Later today, he'll be at a rally in Beverly Hills. And with the November elections right around the corner, the Tea Party will have a big test to prove if it's got staying power. In other words, is the Tea Party a movement or a moment? For a fair and balanced debate, let's now turn to David Mercer. He's a Democratic strategist, and Tony Sayegh, who is a Republican consultant. David and Tony, welcome. David, let me start with you. Do you think the Tea Party winning streak will continue?
That's a flip of the coin, Eric, in that we have to definitely acknowledge the success they've had in the primaries of the Republican Party. At least 10 candidates now on the Republican ticket derived from the movement of the Tea Party. And so it's a matter of whether they're going to be able to coalesce forces, whether they're going to help the brand of the GOP, which has been in the dumps relative to Congress or the party's, the Democratic Party's numbers polling-wise. And so it's still a question mark, but I hope it does serve as a wake-up call to fellow Democrats that we definitely need to be out there come November, for sure.
Tony, that's interesting. David, your Democratic colleague over there, says it's a wake-up call for Democrats. How about Republicans?
Well, I thank David for making my argument a little easier. The reality is, though, the Tea Party is not a conventional party, so therefore we can't really measure their success by these kind of conventional standards. We, as pundits, like to say, okay, well, what are they going to do after November? It's very difficult to translate electoral success with a real organizational strength beyond that. Don't forget, MoveOn.org, Organizing for America, Acorn, all major groups whose candidates won in 2006, 2008, right now are either defunct or completely disorganized. So it doesn't always generate so easily. What the Tea Party has done is enthused Republicans and conservative-oriented voters to vote this election.
And what does that mean? Tony, let me interrupt for a second. What does that mean? You're talking about enthusing. 17 million Republicans voted just before the primary versus 13 million Democrats. So Republican primary voters are way up. In Delaware alone, they have tripled the number of GOP primary voters from 2006. David, I mean, that has to have some of the Democrats worried.
I don't know about worried. I mean, we have a record to run on. The Obama administration and the Democratic leadership have set down that record in setting the course, in determining, the strong foundation that we have to build to make sure that the challenges we're facing now never come back to haunt us or the American working family. And I think on that record and getting our vote out, as well as reaching out to independents and the youth vote, the Hispanic vote, the black vote, and others, and coming to the center. That's the crux of this. And the question mark is whether or not the Republican Tea Party or the Tea Party Republicans, however you want to brand it, which is still a question mark, are going to be able to, beyond their own ranks, be able to appeal to the American public and convince them that, according to the Pledge to America, which is based on the same Bush policies that got us in this mess in the first place, are still good for America.
Well, Tony, last word. David just raised a good point. Going to the center, you know the argument that the Tea Party candidates are too extreme and can never survive a general election.
If the Tea Party just adheres to its original goal, which is to focus the debate on fiscal issues, government's too big, we're taxing too much, spending too much, they're appealing to independents. The polls are showing independents are favoring Republican conservative candidates by 70%. It's the fact that there is this Obama record to run against that is galvanizing Americans, even some who are not Republicans, toward the Tea Party and conservative candidates. And I'll tell you, I think the Tea Party gets the last laugh on November 3rd.
All right, David.
After the election.
David Mercer and Tony Sayegh, we'll see who's laughing and who's crying on November. Thanks very much for joining us on this Sunday
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Have a good day.